Well, as an artist, my work has nothing to do with money because I don't make any. So, in a lot of ways, the election doesn't affect my work at all. Plus, I never really try to let popular culture, this kind of thing, really affect what I do. Um, in terms of the actual election, to me, both candidates really owe their heart and soul to big business, and that's what they're for. And if you sort of doubt that and sort of think Obama is like the savior of the people, you got to realize contributions to the Democratic Party from huge corporations are very, very large, and they're not paying for nothing. Um, the trouble is, of course, that when Reagan got elected in the 80s, the landscape of what was permissible for politicians to talk about really changed, and you end up with the right dictating that politics are now about abortion and gays, and that's what the left does too. And while everyone's arguing about homosexuals and whether you can have an abortion or not, big businesses are picking your pocket. And until the left comes around to a critique of capital again, which is, I'm old fashioned, but I think that's the left's job. But the debate has all been set in this sort of what they call the culture wars. Now, of course, in any civilized society, abortion or whether someone's gay wouldn't be a question. This is, it's idiotic tactics. Uh, the problem is that everyone's going to church. And this is where the trouble all begins. Um, it used to be when I was younger. When I was a kid in the '70s. People who were real religious were considered to be kooks, and because they are. So that has all changed, and now what really when did they start talking about what church a fucking presidential candidate goes to? It's really craziness, and it's all a distraction. It plays right into the hands of power, uh, because this enables people to get your money. Oh, this isn't just a prop. I actually smoke it. Religion is always, uh, and mysticism are both always control mechanisms. Anyone who knows anything about history can see this is the way they function. It's nothing to do with reality. So, uh, whereas one time capitalism might be considered the motor of history that broke the hold of the church and monarchy on the world, uh, and one time, God was dead, but has been much like Jesus, has come back now as a wonderful jokester, a charlatan to enable rich people to get richer. The fact that since the religious excitement in this country has occurred now, 1% of the population owns 40% of the wealth. That's great, you know. Uh, So, it's not going to be long. Things keep up as they are that you'll be able to say, America, welcome to the third world. Because that's, you already can't get a train anywhere. Maybe soon you won't be able to get an abortion. Soon India will be outsourcing jobs back here. So, when it comes to the election, I I wouldn't vote for either of these people. Well, I won't vote for anyone who goes to church. Uh, so that pretty much takes everyone away. uh, I could vote for myself, but I can do that at home, and I usually do. Uh, whoever gets elected, is going to be holding a very, very smelly bag. And I'm afraid if Obama gets in, because the right-wing attack media is already, firmly entrenched. Oh, and by the way, since I said that, anyone, I really believe anyone who ever used the term liberal media in a serious fashion should really be put up against the wall. Because look who owns the media. No one in this country. They will not talk about class. They will not talk about, these huge corporations that treat everybody like a number all the time. And somehow this is, and the guy that lives in the trailer is voting to increase the power of these people because he goes to church. Uh, so, I sort of really hope that McCain and that ridiculous woman get in. I'd love to see her become president of the United States because it's just what the nitwits in this country deserve. At some point, you have to, people blame this and people blame that, but let's just blame the common people who fucking vote for these idiots. A lot of the problem in this country is that people who live here just seem to work so very hard at making themselves stupider. And then, we have to vote. What? You have to vote for a president who's as stupid as me. Now, if you were having brain surgery, or if you were going to drive over a bridge, or even the first baseman for your favorite baseball team, would you want someone who is as ordinary and crappy at the job as you would be? Well, of course not. But why is it for the leader of what used to be number one economy in the world? Why we need we need a regular guy. We don't want him to be too smart. The logic of that completely escapes me. If you're an aspiring politician and you want my vote, here's what you need to do. Because I am willing to go back to the voting booth. You can get me there if you need me. I want to heavily tax the rich. I would favor whatever the minimum wage is now. I have no fucking clue as to what it is because I don't work. I would say 100 times that. And after that, like a hard salary cap where 90% of your money goes to taxes. That'd be a good start. And nobody can tell me that 2 days as a CEO of Fannie Mae is harder than 200 days flipping burgers at McDonald's. I don't think anyone would if they had the choice between those two jobs, would take the McDonald's job. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm afraid of the responsibility, but I don't think that's the case. I would also tax churches because, everything under the spectacle is a product. And, of course, once you start to tax them, I guess they'll be liable for lawsuits for lying. But they really should be taxed because it's a lot of money that's being made. And the product, it's worse than, bad shoes or a crappy car. It's no good. We need national health and to really cut back the military and much more funding for the arts. Because I was in Europe and it's nice there and people respect artists. And I don't think in this country anyone respects artists because, they think artists are degenerates. So that's what you need to do to get my vote. Oh, and you know what else? I'll tell you what. I really think sin tax on booze and cigarettes, I wouldn't vote for anyone who was for that or to have marijuana be illegal. Cigarettes, they're doing the world a favor by getting you out of the way sooner, and so is booze. So you're not like driving a car and living in a nursing home. So you shouldn't really be taxed. In fact, I would think, nowadays with all the breeding that goes on, a lot of it has to do with mysticism. Who's going to fight our wars if we don't have a lot of kids? I think you're really doing society a favor by smoking. So you should be encouraged to, not discouraged. And that's not a very, good place to end. But I think I'm done now. Oh, I didn't cough once.